it's Audra. Welcome to another video. So today we're talking about how in the world are you going to fix your broken, messed up, damaged metabolism. And I actually use those words very loosely because your metabolism isn't broken, it's not completely messed up to where you can't ever get it back on track again. Basically, what has really happened if you're experiencing a very low metabolism or what you think is a broken metabolism or something like that is just that your metabolism has adapted, okay? That's more of a better term to say. Your metabolism has adapted to whatever you've been putting it through for the past weeks or months or years or whatever. So basically, if you go for a really long time on a diet or a crazy workout routine or something like that, then what's going to happen is your metabolism is going to adapt. So it's not just like your metabolism. A part of your metabolism is the fact that it's your hormones, such as your thyroid and your reproductive hormones and all kinds of stuff like that are going to slowly change. And most of the time they're going to go very, very low, even to the point where they don't even work anymore. The good news is you can fix this. And so in this video, I'm going to tell you how to fix that and just some things that you can kind of think through and start incorporating into your life to get things back on track, because it is possible. It's not something that's going to take you years and years and years, or it's not something that you can never fix and you're just doomed to be the way that you are for the rest of your life. Let's first talk about some different categories of people, okay? Because not everybody is the same. Most people are going to fall into a couple of different categories with this when it comes to a lower metabolism or a slow metabolism. The way that you're going to go about fixing this is going to be different, okay? So the first group of people that I want to talk about are the people with restrictive eating disorders, okay? And these are not just people who have been on a diet or you're like trying to lower your calories or you've been on a yo-yo type of thing. It is that, but it's even more intense than that, okay? So if you are super restrictive and you're at a very low body weight and you're mentally just like crazy with this, that's more what I'm talking about, okay? Like if you have the mental issue, you have the low body weight, and you're pretty much like malnourished, like people tell you all the time, like they're worried about you, they've expressed concern, you know who you are basically, like I don't have to tell you. So you have those group of people, okay? And for these group of people, I personally, you can do what I'm gonna explain to these other people if you want to, but I do not personally recommend that for a number of reasons. Number one, I don't think you need to do what I'm gonna talk about because it can be very, very, it just keeps you thinking about food all the time, okay? And so at this point, what you need is just food. And you need a lot of food. And you need to nourish your body. You need to get healthy again. You need to gain weight and get things back on track. And the best way to do that is to just eat a lot of food. I know that there is an issue that can possibly come up known as refeeding syndrome. And if you are concerned about that or you have certain criteria for that, then I would definitely recommend that you work with a local professional, like a doctor, an eating disorder clinic or something like that, and they can help you get your food intake up to a normal level so you don't develop that. And again, that's very uncommon, but it does happen, so I just want to throw that out there. But at this point, your biggest friend is food. So I highly recommend that you don't do what I'm going to talk about in this video and you just get past all the fear foods, the gaining weight issues, and like all of just the body image and the self-hate and all of that type of stuff, and just get back to living your normal life. So just eat a ton of food. Also, another part of this is that studies and research have actually shown, specifically in the Minnesota starvation experiment, that when those guys who were a part of that experiment tried to recover, like when Ansel Keys said, okay, like experiment's over, now let's start eating normally again, he slowly increased their intake, and that wasn't good enough. They needed to just eat a ton of food right off the bat. So that's why they were eating upwards of like 10,000 calories a day because they needed that food, like their body needed it right then and there. That's why I really encourage you, if you're on that end of things, that you just need to eat a lot of food. You don't even really need to even listen to anything in this video, because yes, it can help you, but at the same time, like mentally and physically, I highly encourage you just to go with a lot of food, okay? The second group of people kind of fall into this broad category. Again, this is very, very broad, but it's mostly the people who are eating very low calories, or they're doing a ton of exercise, or they're doing a combination of both, okay? So maybe you're eating a lot of calories, but you're also having to exercise all the time. Or maybe you're eating very low calories and you never exercise. Or maybe you're eating very low calories and you're exercising all the time. So it's kind of like a combination of those, or just one of those things. One common thing might be, and again, this is a might, but you could be one of these people who is eating very low calories and you're on the elliptical all the time and you can never seem to lose weight. Like, you don't know what's up. You're just like, what in the world? Like, if I drop any more lower in my calories, I'm gonna basically starve, and I don't know why I can't lose weight. What's going on? Well, in that sense, you have a messed up, or you have a low adapted metabolism. So what you need to do is rebuild that. There's two ways that you can do this. They're basically the same thing. One is just a little bit more technical than the other one, and I actually prefer the latter, which I will talk about in a second, but I'm gonna go through both just because you might wanna do the first one for whatever reason, but I'm just gonna throw it out there. The first way of doing this is you're essentially going to do what's called a reverse diet, okay? So, you know, when you do a regular diet, you lower your calories, like slowly lower your calories. Well, in a reverse diet, it's that in reverse. You're gonna slowly increase your calories. This is very common among bodybuilders and bikini competitors and people like that when they come off of like preps after they've gone through a show and they want to slowly build back up their metabolism without having to worry about a ton of weight gain or whatever. So what they do is they actually count their calories, they count their macros, and over the weeks, they will slowly add in a certain amount of carbs, a certain amount of protein, a certain amount of fat, however they want to do it based on their goals. And over time, they have increased their caloric intake. If you're that type of OCD type of person, I don't encourage you to do that. But then again, like I said, there are some people that do this and they love it. Like, it's just a part of their life, it's no big deal. They actually enjoy it, like that type of thing. So you can do that, but I don't recommend that, especially if you're coming from a horrible background of just like being obsessed with all this stuff. You don't want to get right back into all that kind of stuff. Like, you don't have to. And that leads us to the next point of what I would recommend you doing is basically the same thing, like basically the increasing of the calories every week, but you're gonna do it in a way where you're not logging stuff, you're not tracking calories or macros or anything like that. So all you would do is you would slowly increase your calories by means of adding in an extra serving of food every week, okay? So what does this mean? Most people out there usually eat the same thing every single day, right? Like, you have maybe your 2 or 3 breakfasts that you eat, a couple handful of lunches that you choose from, and then your dinners, and you might like here and there go out to eat, or it's vacation or something like that, but all in all, you eat pretty much the same thing every single day, right? And so if you're one of these people who just like can't lose weight, or you're stuck at 1,000 calories and you're afraid to increase or whatever, then what you can do is say, okay, let's just take bread, for example. Let's say right now you eat 2 pieces of bread every day plus all the rest of your food that you eat. What you would do is you would say, okay, this week I'm gonna eat 3 pieces of bread every single day, in addition to all your other food. And then next week, I'm gonna add in another serving of bread, so where I'm up to 4 pieces of bread every single day, plus all the rest of your food. And then you just keep doing that and doing that and doing that as time goes on. Now, obviously, you don't wanna just keep adding in bread to where like you're eventually up to like 20 pieces of bread a day. At some point you could be like, okay, you know, like instead of bread, I'm gonna add in an extra piece of fruit. So let's say you do this for like 4 weeks and you're up to 4 pieces, or you're up to like 6 pieces of bread every day plus the rest of your food. And then you're like, you know what, like I'm at 1 banana a day, I want to increase to 2 bananas. So that week you will eat your 6 pieces of bread plus 2 bananas plus the rest of your food. The next week you would do 6 pieces of bread plus 3 bananas and then the rest of your food, and that type of thing. And it just goes on and on and on. Now, you don't have to be super like obsessed with this, like you can interchange stuff or whatever, but it is a good way for you to not have to be so mentally like attached to the numbers and worrying about all that kind of stuff, but you're just slowly increasing your caloric intake over time. And it's easy just to do like little servings of stuff. Like you can have an extra serving of oatmeal, or an extra serving of bread, or an extra serving of fruit, or whatever like you want to do, nuts, seeds, whatever. And as you do that over time, your metabolism is going to increase like crazy, okay? But there's 2 other things that you have to keep in mind with this that go a part of this. You can't just sit on the couch and expect to just keep increasing your caloric intake over time and then automatically have this raging metabolism and you're just like losing weight and all kinds of stuff. The first thing that you want to do is you want to slowly decrease your cardio, okay? if you're a cardio junkie and you're doing 2 hours a day running on the treadmill, and you're eating 1,000 calories a day, that's a horrible situation to be in. So instead of just slowly increasing your calories while you're still doing tons and tons of cardio, you're gonna slowly decrease your cardio at the same time as you're increasing calories, okay? So let's just say, for example, there's a girl named Susie, and she eats 1,000 calories a day, and she does 2 hours of cardio every single day. So what she's gonna start doing is she's gonna start adding in her pieces of fruit or bread or nuts and seeds or whatever she's eating every single day for 1 week. And then the next week she adds more and then adds more and then adds more. But at the same time, with her cardio, she's going to slowly decrease. So instead of 2 hours, this next week she's going to do an hour 45. And then the next week, an hour 30. And then on and on and on until eventually Susie's hardly doing any cardio, if at all, okay? Because that's the goal. You want to get away from this whole like thinking that you have to continually do cardio and continually burn calories and all that kind of thing. To maintain a good healthy weight and to lose fat and to have a lot of lean body mass. Which leads to the third point. The third thing that you have to do is you have to start lifting heavy weights, okay? This is going to be what transforms your metabolism, your body, your mind, everything is weight lifting, and not little dumbbells, but heavy weight. But basically you want to be lifting heavy weight, and you want to slowly decrease your cardio, and you want to slowly increase your food intake. When you do this, everything is going to change. Your body composition is going to change, your mindset's going to change, your time scheduling is going to change. You're not going to be spending all day long doing the elliptical and worrying about calories and all that. Your metabolism is going to rev up like crazy, and you'll finally get to a point to where instead of doing 2 hours of cardio every day and eating 1,000 calories a day, to now, like months later, here you are and you're eating 2,000 plus calories a day, and your cardio is very, very low, if at all, and you're lifting weights and you're gaining muscle and you're gaining like more confidence and you feel great, you're not tired all the time, your hormones are working great, your sex drive is high, like you feel awesome. So I want to just make a little comment real quick, because I know that a lot of people who watch this follow a high carb vegan diet, and a lot of you might be looking at other girls or guys out there who eat 3,000 calories a day or more or whatever, and you're just like, what in the world? Like, how do they do this? How do they get away with it? Like, I can only eat 1,200 or I gain weight if I eat anything over that, and I always have to exercise to keep the weight off. Like, what is going on? Well, there's a ton of different reasons why they're able to get away with eating that many calories. It could be their gender, it could be their activity level, it could be their they have a higher metabolism naturally, like it could be their age. It's tons and tons and tons of things that could happen. But there actually is a very common thing that has happened with a lot of guys and girls who follow a high carb vegan diet. And what has happened is, let's say that you have, we'll use Susie again. Let's say that Susie is sitting there one night and she decides to get on YouTube. She gets converted to veganism and she says, okay, I'm going to do high carb vegan starting tomorrow, okay? So she does not, this is not how it happens. She does not go from her 1,500 calorie a day junk food, standard American diet, overnight to 3,000 calories of high carb vegan foods. Like, that's usually not how it happens. And if she did, she would end up gaining a substantial amount of weight, which is very common, okay, with a lot of people doing this. But what normally happens for the people who end up not gaining a ton of weight is that over time, they have slowly increased their calories, okay? So this is what it looks like, and it's really interesting. You can actually go back and watch their YouTube videos or their Instagram account or whatever, and most people will they'll switch out their diet and they'll say, okay, instead of eating standard American diet, now I'm gonna do high carb vegan or whatever. So they do that, but then they see that they start getting hungrier and they're like, okay, well, instead of having just 3 bananas in my morning smoothie, I'm gonna add an extra one in. And they do that for a few days or a few weeks, and then they're like, you know what? I want another one, and then another one, and then another one. And by the time it's been like 3 months, they've gone from having a 3 banana smoothie when they first started being high carb vegan to now they're eating 12 banana smoothies and 3,000 calories a day, okay? So what they have actually essentially done is reverse dieted without even realizing it. And it's happening all over the place. And so if you're out there and you're very discouraged and you see that people are just like, you know, eating all this food and you can't get it down, you don't understand how she's so skinny and she eats so much food, blah, blah, blah. Well, remember, most of the time, again, I'm saying most because there are exceptions, most of the time it didn't happen like that. It was a slow, gradual increase of calories and they didn't even realize it. I actually did this myself personally. I did the whole reverse dieting thing by adding in more calories and more foods over time, and I slowly decreased my cardio and I increased my weight training. When I did this a few years ago, I actually ended up increasing my calories from over 800 calories a day. So at one point for me, I was eating very low calories, like I don't even know how much, because I had this stomach issue due to this medication I was on. And I was literally living off of like chips and crackers. Like I could not eat anything else. And so I decided, you know what, like I'm going to force myself to eat 1,500 calories. I'm going to start there. And even that for me was a ton of food at the time. Like that's literally like starvation, but that was a ton of food for me at that point. So as time went on, as I kept adding in foods every single week, I got up to where I was eating over 2,300 calories a day. And my metabolism was going crazy. Like I was still hungry every time I was ready to eat. My hormones worked perfect. Like everything was going great. I was lifting weights. I wasn't doing crazy amounts of cardio, and I fixed my metabolism. But it does take time. So that's kind of what you have to be in for. You know, a lot of people want the quick fix, and that's not necessarily how it works if you want to go the slow route. Or like I said, for that first group of people, you just need to eat a lot of food, regardless of what's going to happen to your like weight gain and all that stuff. You need to get past the fear foods and get past your eating disorder and your body image and mental issues and all that. And if you need help with that, you can actually get my Get Your Period handbook, because it talks all about how to do that. Even if you're a guy and you're like having issues with eating disorders and stuff like that, that book would still help you out as well. That's what I would do. That's how you can fix your metabolism. That's how you can increase it over time. Again, it's up to you how you want to do this, but that's pretty much how it works. So back off of the cardio slowly, increase your calories slowly, and start to weight lift very, very heavy. And as time goes on, you will see so much in your life and with your body and your body composition and just your metabolism and just energy and everything change. It's very simple. It's very easy. Don't overcomplicate it. Just say, okay, you know what? Like I'm just going to add in this food. I'm going to start decreasing my cardio and I'm going to start lifting weights. And it's as simple as that. So I hope that is very helpful for you guys. Please, if you like this video, like it and share and subscribe to my channel if you guys want to see more videos like this. And I hope you guys have an awesome weekend, and I will see you next time. Bye.